Washington Post took a look at about 1,000+ book challenges that were filed, and they found that they were filed nationwide by just 11 people. Each of these people brought 10 or more challenges against books in their school district. Together, these serial filers constituted 6% of all book challengers, but they were responsible for 60% of filings. In Florida, Tampa Bay Times, they found that of roughly 1,100 complaints recorded in Florida since July 2022, we're talking about more than 700 just from two counties, Escambia in the Western Panhandle and Clay County. Together, those are less than 3% of the public school enrollment, 600 of those complaints, 2 people. Why should 13 people get to decide what books tens of thousands of children get to read?
Well, I'm thinking it's probably because those 13 people saw what some of the content was in the books. I mean, explicit, graphic, sexual content. And I'm happy to talk about some of that content if you'd like.
Right now, they get upset if a white teacher reads Huck Finn from Mark Twain. I mean, you can't read Huck Finn because they use the N-word, because Mark Twain uses the N-word. But you can sit there and talk about, in middle school, dildos and anal beads and anal rape and whatever. That is okay. Guys, man, it's not okay. You have to understand, it's not okay. In no context, in no way is that okay as a book in their library. I mean, again, we don't need to talk about that. We don't. And again, man, if somebody wants access to that book, I mean, again, the public library, buy a copy. But again, they don't want it in schools.
Well, this is the question again. The books that are being banned, I want to give you just some...
Hold on
a second.
Well, no, Joy, but I want to be clear. No one's banning books. Write the book, print the book, publish the book, put the book in the public library, sell the book, right? We're talking about a public school library. Children don't have unfettered access to the internet at school. I did a FOIA records request, and I wanted to see what kinds of internet sites are banned in schools, if we're going to talk about banning, right? And the subject matter in the books that moms are concerned about are the same things that kids don't have access to on the internet. So it just feels very hypocritical, right? No, why is no one out there protesting for, free the internet in schools?
Again, we have truly got to be asked what they're doing, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to restrict what is allowed in the libraries at the schools. Because again, we have to understand, when I was a kid, there weren't books like this. But, again, you couldn't check out a Playboy because, again, it wouldn't be in the library. You couldn't check out a book on dildos. I mean, there was no book on that, or gay sex, or sex, period. I mean, again, we truly get to understand. I mean, again, if you write books like that, that's fine. You're going to write books all day long like that. And again, publish them, sell them, have them put in the public library. But again, we're talking about schools. We're talking about schools. And what she's saying is that, certain things aren't allowed to be searched on the internet at school. Why would we allow books with the same material?
List. There was never a list of books that we put out and said, parents, be concerned about these books, right? We didn't do it because we want our parents to be effective advocates. So when moms are going into the libraries and the schools, when they're seeing what their children have access to, when they go to speak to the superintendent or the principal, they have accurate information, right? They're
and where are they getting
advocates.
their information from?
You can just go online to a catalog in your children's library.
Correct.
And you can see what
without
books are
reading
available.
the books. What is one moment? What is booklooks.com?
I'm aware of a website called booklooks.com where parents can go and see some of the books that other parents are concerned about.
Booklooks.com has been used in Florida extensively in counties like, I used to live in Broward County. I lived there for 14 years.
Okay.
In counties like Broward, counties like Clay, counties like Escambia, Moms for Liberty activists are using booklooks.com. And it's essentially a Cliff Notes for books.
Yeah.
So you go through without even having to read the book. I'm going to just hold it up so our audience can see what it looks like. This is the one for All Boys Aren't Blue, which is one of the books Moms for Liberty has pushed.
Everyone should go and see the content in this book. That's such a good idea.
And so what
Joy.
happens is you can do keyword searches and find certain keywords.
Like rape?
You can find sure.
Or anal rape or dildo.
You can find
those,
all sorts
those types
of keywords.
of words. But like,
wait,
so
hold on, wait. Let me finish my question. Then
great,
you can answer.
sure.
I'm going to give you time to answer, but I got to ask you first.
No, yeah, I got the question.
And so what you find is the keywords that you find, the N word, anything, words like you just used, then you'll get out of context passages from the book. And then based on that, Moms for Liberty members are going to places like Broward County School Board meetings, reading out of context passages from these books, and then demanding that the school board remove them.
So what's
that
the
is the way.
question? Yeah.
The question I'm asking is, what is the expertise that you have and other Moms for Liberty advocates have to decide that a book, an award-winning book like All Boys Aren't Blue, isn't appropriate for students to read? What is your expertise?
What a tragic story of a young man who's anally raped by his adult family member. So you have incest, rape, pedophilia. Joy, you said you'd let me answer, so I'm going to answer
Please
for you. In what context is a strap-on dildo acceptable for public school?
I mean, again, guys, context does not matter. It doesn't. I mean, again, could you imagine walking down the hallway of a elementary school and you walk past some fourth grade classroom and the school teacher is talking to her class. They're reading a passage from that book and she's talking about dildos. And you're like, whoa, 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 my daughter is in this class. And again, you're talking about dildos? What is wrong with you? And they're like, sir, you don't know the context. We're reading a book, and this child in the book got anally raped by their cousin. And the cousin used a dildo. So that's why we're talking about this. It's like, you should be learning about history, about math. What, you're talking about dildos and anal rape? Yes. Oh, that makes it all better. No, it doesn't. I mean, again, we have to understand that's why Moms for Liberty do what they do.
No, we're talking about public school.
One moment.
All right.
So now you've asked me questions.
Sure.
So I'm going to answer it.
Okay.
Well, who is the main character? What's the name of the main character in All Boys Aren't Blue?
You're asking me right now.
You just gave me very specific information about this book, so you're presenting yourself as somebody expert.
Joy Reid's like, I'm going to answer your question by asking you another question in return. Again, she won't answer the question. She won't. Because again, in no way is that appropriate. In no way, in no context is talking about that kind of stuff appropriate. And again, man, I understand if a child, has something bad happen to them. I get that. But again, they talk to a counselor or somebody one-on-one.
Who's the main character in the book?
The main character is the author.
What's his name?
George, I believe is his first name.
Because you're giving me very specific information that is
You're asking me to remember the name of an author.
You
the
just
name
remembered
of the author
very
doesn't,
specific names.
Joy.
Here's my question.
We're talking about
Here's my question.
You didn't answer my question.
No. I'm going to answer your
Great.
question.
I would love to hear that.
Absolutely. Well, I'm interviewing you and you're not interviewing me. So let's just make sure it's a conversation. Okay,
great.
So what I'm saying to you is that as you are not an expert in this book,
I don't have to be an expert to know that dildos aren't appropriate for public school. I mean, come on, let's get real.
This book is a full context story, as you said, of the author's experience. Why is it your right or a Moms for Liberty activist's right to say that a parent who wants their child to have access to this book, which gives a personal experience of this author, why doesn't a liberal parent, for instance, or a parent of an LGBTQ kid, why don't they have a right for their child to just have access to this book? Why is it your right to say they can't?
So again, we're talking about incest, rape, and pedophilia.
And each parent, each parent has to decide what is appropriate for their child to read. So I want you to answer. I'm going to ask it one more time. What is your right to tell a parent who wants their child, who might feel seen by this story? Why don't they have the right? Why don't they have the right?
As we bent over backwards for minorities. That's what we do. Again, we placate the evil. And again, man, I'm not saying minorities are evil. But again, I'm talking about a small percentage of the population that wants their kids to see this kind of junk. That's what I'm talking about. Again, we have truly got to understand that we're bending over backwards for a small minority of the population. That's what we're doing. And again, we're giving in to evil. With that, we are. We are truly giving in to evil. I mean, again, so people aren't called racist. They bend over backwards to show, oh, look at me, I'm not racist. I will agree with you and give whatever you want. So again, you don't call me a racist. Same thing with, gay, so you don't call me homophobic. I will bend over backwards and allow whatever to, again, we have truly got to understand what is happening here. Again, these portions of the population want that, small portions that want to control you, that want to make you feel guilty for something you aren't doing wrong, you have never done, ever in your life. You're wanting, you're bending over backwards. You're wanting them to see you as some kind of, good guy. And again, man, that's weakness. You're giving in to evil. That's what you're doing. You're saying, hey, I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy. I'm not racist. I'm not sexist. I'm not homophobic. I'm not transphobic. I'm a good guy. So again, I'll bend over backwards, allow you to say whatever you want, allow you to do whatever you want. You can break laws, man. You can jump on cars. You can do whatever you want. I'm not going to say a word to you because I don't want you to look at me as some kind of bad guy. I'm going to let you have porn, basically, in the school system. Because, again, I'm not transphobic or homophobic. We truly get to recognize, guys, man. Right now, we're bending over backwards for the wrong things. We truly are.
If a child feels seen by this story, that means that they have been the victim of a predator. That means that they have either been raped by a family member, they've experienced
and your proof of that is what?
You just said that if a child feels seen by this story. What I'm saying, Joy,
you're now making assumptions about it.
No, but if a child has been raped, we should do a lot better than put a book on a library
shelf. Now you're literally
shelf.
creating a story behind a child that you don't know. Let me show you a form. This is a form that can be obtained in Broward County, Florida. Okay. I'm going to show it to the audience, and then I'm going to show it to you. Okay. This is called the opt. Yeah, please. I'm going to hand it to you. So much. It's called the opt-out form.
Okay.
An opt-out form would allow any parent, because you said you are in favor of parental rights.
I am.
It would allow any parent to opt out of their child being able to take books out of the library without their parents' permission.
Okay.
So that Moms for Liberty, why not advocate that every school in America have an opt-out form so that a parent who doesn't want their child to access a book like All Boys Aren't Blue,
right,
that they can make that choice? Because then each parent, including a liberal parent, a black parent, a parent who wants their child to read a book about African-American history, then we want children to read books. Why not just opt out for yourself rather than tell other parents what they can and cannot?
First of all, I think what you're talking about here is a wonderful step in the right direction. We should be having conversations about this. This is about local control. A lot of these decisions are made at the local school board level, and that's where these decisions should be made. And there should be vibrant conversations about what's happening in our public schools and what kids have access to. Joy, however, maybe we could just put all the books with all the graphic sexual content, the dildos, the rape, the incest.
I'm sorry.
Let's do
I'm so sorry.
Let's do a back room. Let's put a curtain up in the library like they used to do.
One moment.
Remember when we were little and you would go to the video store?
The books that Moms for
and they
Liberty.
Put those
the books that Moms for Liberty.
With pornography.
I know that I've seen.
We could just do that in the public library.
I have seen tapes of what Moms for Liberty does, and you all go into school board meetings and you read graphic stuff.
Disingenuous conversation.
No, it's not.
There's America used to understand that there's something called age-appropriate content.
Guys, can we just be honest, man? They're not calling for the books to be banned. Not at all. They're calling for the books to be taken out of the school. There is a big difference. There's a difference between banning books and having them taken out of school. And again, the reason why they want them in the school is because they want to indoctrinate young kids. That's what they want to do. Again, any kid that would have a connection with that book has been abused. We have got to recognize that. Again, man, they need to be in counseling. That book does not need to be in the school. It does not. Again, man, I'm not saying the book shouldn't exist, but the book should not be in the school. They should not. And again, man, she's right. At one point in time, we understood age-appropriate content. We knew what that was. And again, we didn't allow certain things to be taught in school or certain things to be exposed to kids with. We knew that. Again, man, the whole parental guidance sticker that you used to see, man, back when I was a kid, back on tapes and stuff, back in the 90s, man, back when I was young, man. Yeah, I mean, again, we have truly got to get back to that point. We've got to stop pretending. We've got to stop pretending that evil is good and good is evil. And that's where we're at. We are at a place in today's world, we actually believe that evil is good. I mean, we got to use whatever pronouns they want us to use because, again, we're being tolerant. No, you're not. Again, they're forcing you to say something that you know is not true. And again, you're going to do that to make them feel good, to make them be happy. And if you don't, they get mad and they say that you're abusing them when they're the ones abusing you. They're abusing your rights. I mean, we have truly got to recognize that. And again, man, Black Lives Matter, they want to have a conversation about race, but only from one side. That's it. You have to accept their point of view as gospel. And if you don't, then guess what? You're evil, you're wrong, you're racist. Guys, we have truly got to understand that is evil. That is mean. That is being a bully. That is what that is. And right now, we're being bullied by smaller percentages of the population. We truly are. And again, man, if you don't accept things through the woke way, being woke, I mean, again, you're wrong. You're wrong. And they can call you whatever names they want to call you. But again, you have to call them by the pronoun they want you to call them by. And again, you're abusing them if you allow a 300-pound man wearing a dress to pee next to where your daughter is in the bathroom. And again, man, you're abusing them? Really? No, they're the ones abusing people. They're the ones abusing people. And again, what they're doing is they're calling you bad. They're calling you evil. But again, they're the ones that are actually evil. But guys, man, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks. You son of a.